Hello, my name is William Barnes. I'm here to speak about General George Patton and his speech to the members of the Third Army during World War II. The speech is very iconic because of the movie Patton, where George C. Scott spoke in front of a large American flag to members of the Third Army. First of all, how many members of the class have been in a situation where they didn't know they were going to survive or not? That is exactly the audience that General George Patton was speaking to. Young, inexperienced soldiers who may be facing their first time at battle. In the speech, I will speak on the man, I will speak on the reason for the speech, and I'll speak on the success of the speech. General George Patton was born in 1885 in California. He attended West Point, the prestigious military academy. After that, he came under the tutelage of General John Pershing. His first taste of combat was on the Mexican-American border against the forces of Pancho Villa. Shortly thereafter, he was thrust into the Battle of World War I. After World War I, he conducted Army armored training centers in California, where he was pivotal in making new training centers. Shortly after that, World War II was just getting started. General George Patton was instrumental in this first Allied victory in El Qatar, Africa. Now that we know a little bit about the man, I'll speak about the reason for the speech. The reason for the speech was General George Patton knew that he had a bunch of young, inexperienced soldiers, so they needed a good leader. And many of the men were blue-collar men like him, and so a lot of his speech was profane and spoke to their level. He didn't speak at a college level, he spoke at their level, and the men adored him for it, giving him the nickname Old Blood and Guts. According to biographer Providence, Patton stated the night of the speech that only 2% of the men in the room that night would die in a great conflict. That's just the kind of man Patton was. He said he let them know that people were going to die, but it wasn't going to be everybody. You just needed to be brave. He definitely spoke to the men's patriotism and their bravery and their manhood. A man who would not be motivated by a great leader like that, who had a reputation, his reputation definitely preceded him. Myself personally would follow that man, especially when being thrust into a conflict such as World War II. Patton's style was very successful, and it is evidenced by his great success in World War II. The Third Army was pivotal in holding back Axis forces in the Battle of the Bulge to claim victory there. Also, the Third Army took back 10,000 miles of Nazi-controlled territory in Germany across the Rhine. In conclusion, Patton was a born leader. He was born at a perfect time. Not only did he get to take part in World War I, but also World War II. Patton was a leader that needed to be at battle. He could not be a peacetime leader. He needed to be at battle, and that was perfect for him. The Third Army needed him. The Third Army was inexperienced at the time, and they needed a great leader. And he was the perfect man for the job. Patton was very successful because his speeches and his demeanor could motivate his men. And that's exactly what they needed at that time. You're talking World War II in the 1940s. Men just, they wanted to follow a great leader. American men, like Patton always said in some of his speeches, they love a winner, and Americans hate a loser. So that's what Patton tried to invoke in his men, and I believe he did a great job. Thank you. My name is William Berenson, and this is my speech analyzing General George Patton's speech to the Third Army.